Hello everyone and welcome back to Fluent Flow English. Thank you for coming back today and thank you for choosing this podcast to practice your English listening and speaking skills. This is a calm and friendly space where you can relax, listen, and learn at your own speed. You do not need to understand every single word. Just listen, feel the language, and enjoy the moment. This podcast is made especially for English learners like you. Here, we use simple words and clear sentences. We speak slowly and naturally. The goal is not only to improve your English, but also to help you think and grow in your everyday life. While you listen, you can repeat sentences quietly or speak them out loud. This is a great way to build confidence in English. Today we are talking about a very simple but very powerful idea. The idea is this: small habits create big change. These words sound easy, but the meaning is deep. A habit is something you do again and again, almost without thinking. It can be small, like drinking a glass of water in the morning, or reading one page of a book before sleep. It can also be connected to something bigger, like getting healthier, learning a new skill, or improving your English. Many people believe that big change needs big effort. They think, I must do something huge to change my life. But this is not always true. Most real change comes from small actions, repeated many times, over many days and months. A small habit, done every day, slowly becomes a strong force in your life. This topic is also very useful for your English learning journey. Many learners try to study for many hours in one single day and then stop completely for weeks. This does not work very well. But learners who build small daily habits, like listening for just 10 minutes every day, often improve faster and feel less stressed and less tired. So today, as you listen to this 100th episode of Fluent Flow English, I invite you to stay relaxed and open. There is no pressure here. Just listen, think, and reflect. Let this be another small step toward building a clearer mind and a stronger habit, both in English and in life. Let us take a calm and clear look at the main idea of today's topic. What does it really mean to build a small habit? This question sounds simple, but let us explain it carefully, step by step, using easy words and real examples from daily life. A habit is an action that slowly becomes automatic. At first, you need to remember to do it. You need a little effort and attention. But after some time, if you repeat it enough, you do it almost without thinking, just like brushing your teeth in the morning or checking your phone after waking up. A small habit is simply a tiny version of a bigger goal. If your goal is to read more books, a small habit could be reading just 5 pages every night. If your goal is to speak better English, a small habit could be saying one new sentence out loud every morning. If your goal is to become healthier, a small habit could be drinking 1 extra glass of water every day. Small habits are powerful for one simple reason. They are easy to start, and they are easy to continue. When something feels easy, you do not need huge motivation every single day. You do not feel scared or tired before doing it. You simply do it, again and again. And slowly, without much effort, it becomes part of your normal life. Many people make a mistake at the very beginning. They try to start with something big and exciting. They say, from tomorrow, I will study English for 2 full hours every single day. This sounds impressive at first, and it feels motivating for 1 or 2 days. But very soon, after a busy day or a tired evening, this plan starts to feel heavy and difficult. They miss one day, then another day, and slowly they stop trying completely. A small habit avoids this exact problem. It does not ask for too much. It simply says, just 5 minutes, just 1 sentence, just 1 small page. Because it asks for so little, you can continue doing it even on a tired day, a busy day, or a difficult and stressful day. This is the quiet secret behind long-term change. Now let us understand more deeply why small habits are often far more powerful than big, ambitious goals. A big goal, like become fluent in English or get completely healthy, feels far away and unclear. It does not tell you exactly what action to take today, right now, in this moment. Because of this unclear distance, many people feel lost, confused, and eventually give up before they even truly begin. A small habit, on the other hand, is clear, specific, and simple. It tells you exactly what to do right now, today. Instead of saying, "I want to improve my English someday," you can say, "I will listen to one short English podcast every morning while drinking my tea." This sentence is small, clear, and very easy to follow, even on a difficult day. Small habits also build something called momentum. Momentum means that once you start moving forward, even a little, it becomes easier and easier to keep moving. When you complete a small habit today, you feel a small, quiet sense of success inside you. This little feeling encourages you to repeat the same habit again tomorrow. Slowly, day after day, the habit grows stronger, deeper, and more natural, almost without you noticing the effort. There is also a simple and interesting truth about human behavior. We often overestimate what we can achieve in just one single day, but we seriously underestimate what we can achieve across one full year of small, steady effort. A small habit uses this truth wisely. It does not demand too much from you in one single day, but it allows real, steady growth across many days, weeks, months, and eventually years. Let us look at a simple comparison. Imagine two English learners. The first learner decides to study English for 3 full hours, but only once a week, every Sunday. The second learner decides to study for just 10 minutes, but every single day, without exception. At the end of 1 month, the second learner has practiced almost every single day, has built a steady and comfortable rhythm, and very likely feels more confident and natural with the language. The first learner, however, may skip several Sundays because 3 hours can feel too heavy to start, and their total practice time ends up being much smaller. Now let us gently talk about why many people struggle to build good, lasting habits, even when they truly want to change. This does not mean these people are weak or lazy. In most cases, there are very human and very understandable reasons behind this struggle. One strong reason is depending too much on motivation. In the beginning, motivation feels exciting and powerful. You feel inspired and full of energy. But motivation is like a strong wind. It comes suddenly, and it can disappear just as suddenly. If your habit depends only on this early excitement, the habit often disappears together with the motivation, usually within a few days or weeks. Another common reason is starting with something too big and too difficult. As we discussed earlier, when a new habit demands too much effort from the very beginning, it quickly becomes exhausting. The mind naturally resists things that feel heavy and tiring, especially on already busy or stressful days. Fear of failure is also a powerful reason. Many people avoid starting a new habit because they are afraid of failing, missing days, or not being consistent enough. They think, "What if I cannot continue this?" This fear can quietly stop them from even trying in the first place. Comparing yourself with others is another hidden obstacle. When people see others achieving big results quickly, especially on social media, they may feel discouraged about their own slow, small progress. They may think, "My small 5-minute habit is not enough," and they stop, even though small, consistent steps are actually very powerful over time. A lack of a clear, simple system is also a common problem. Many people have good intentions, but no clear plan. They say, "I will try to read more," without deciding exactly when, where, or how much. Without a clear and specific plan, good intentions often quietly disappear within a few days. Let us also look at how our environment, meaning the people and things around us, can strongly influence whether our habits succeed or fail. Our daily surroundings shape our behavior more than we usually realize. For example, if your phone is always near your bed, you may naturally check social media instead of reading or listening to English before sleeping. If healthy snacks are visible in your kitchen, you may naturally choose them instead of unhealthy options. Social media also plays a strong role here. We often see other people showing perfect routines, fast results, and big achievements online. This can create pressure and unrealistic expectations. We may feel that our small, quiet progress is not good enough, even though small, steady progress is exactly how real change usually happens. Friends and family also influence our habits, sometimes without us noticing. If the people around you support your goals, encourage your small efforts, and understand your journey, it becomes much easier to continue. But if the people around you are unsupportive or constantly interrupt your routine, it becomes harder to stay consistent, even with strong personal intention. Understanding these outside influences is very helpful. It does not mean you need to change everything around you immediately. It simply means you can slowly design your environment to support your small habits. For example, you can keep your English podcast app easily visible on your phone's home screen. Or you can tell a family member about your daily practice time so they naturally support you.
Now let us gently look at some signs that show your habits may need a little more attention or a small change in approach. This is not about judging yourself. It is simply about calm self-reflection. One common sign is starting strongly but stopping after just a few days. If you often feel excited at the beginning of a new habit but lose interest very quickly, this may be a sign that the habit started too big or that it depends too much on early motivation instead of a simple, repeatable routine. Another sign is feeling exhausted just thinking about the habit. If preparing to do your habit feels heavier than actually doing it, this often means the habit itself has become too demanding, and it may need to be made smaller and simpler. Frequently skipping the habit and feeling guilty afterward is also an important sign. Occasional guilt is normal, but if this feeling of failure repeats constantly, it may quietly damage your confidence and make you want to give up completely instead of adjusting the habit gently. Another sign is comparing your progress constantly with other people's progress. If you often feel discouraged because someone else seems faster or better, this comparison can slowly weaken your own motivation, even though everyone's journey moves at a different personal pace. Finally, if you find yourself waiting for the perfect time to start, this is also worth noticing. Many people wait for a perfect Monday, a perfect New Year, or a perfect mood before beginning. But small habits do not need perfect conditions. They only need a small, simple first action, taken today, right now. Let us also talk gently about the problems that can slowly appear when we do not build small, steady habits in our lives. One common problem is inconsistency. Without small daily habits, our efforts often become irregular. We may study English intensely for a few days, then stop for weeks. This up and down pattern makes real progress very slow and difficult to notice. Another problem is feeling stressed and overwhelmed. When we try to make big changes all at once, Without small supporting habits, everything can feel heavy and exhausting. This heaviness often leads to frustration, tiredness, and eventually giving up on the goal completely. Not having good habits can also affect our confidence. When we repeatedly start something with excitement and then quit quickly, we may start to believe, "I am simply not disciplined enough," or "I always fail at these things." This belief is often not true. The real issue is usually not personal weakness, but simply using the wrong approach, meaning goals that were too big from the very beginning. Over time, a lack of small positive habits can also lead to slower personal growth. Skills like English fluency, health, or financial stability usually grow through small repeated actions across a long period of time. Without these small daily actions, growth becomes much slower and less steady, even if we occasionally make bigger efforts. Now, let us look at the bright and positive side of this topic. When you begin to build small habits, many good changes slowly begin to appear in your life, step by step, not all at once, but steadily and reliably. One of the first benefits is feeling calmer and less stressed. Because small habits do not demand too much effort, they do not create pressure or anxiety. You simply complete a small, easy action, and you feel a gentle sense of accomplishment, without exhausting yourself. Small habits also build genuine self-trust over time. Every time you complete your small habit, even a tiny one, you quietly prove to yourself that you can keep promises to yourself. Over weeks and months, this builds a strong, calm confidence that grows naturally from real experience, not just from words or wishes. Another wonderful benefit is steady, reliable progress. Because small habits are easy to repeat consistently, they naturally add up over long periods of time. 10 minutes of English listening every day becomes several hours every month, and many focused hours across an entire year, all without ever feeling like a heavy burden. Small habits also create a positive identity shift. When you repeat a small habit consistently, you slowly begin to see yourself differently. Instead of thinking, "I'm trying to learn English," you begin to think, "I am someone who practices English every day." This shift in self-identity is a powerful and lasting form of motivation. Finally, small habits create long-term freedom from stress and pressure. Because you are not depending only on strong motivation or perfect conditions, you can continue your habits even during difficult, busy, or emotional periods of life. This reliability brings a deep sense of stability and peace. Now let us talk about how you can practically build a small habit in your own life, using simple, realistic steps. The first step is to choose something very small. Choose an action so small that it feels almost too easy to fail. Instead of saying, "read every day," choose "read 1 page every day." Instead of saying "exercise every day," choose "do 5 minutes of gentle stretching every day." This small size makes the habit easy and comfortable to start. The second step is to connect your new habit to something you already do regularly. For example, you can say, "After I drink my morning tea, I will listen to 5 minutes of English." Connecting a new habit to an existing daily routine makes it much easier to remember and repeat consistently. The third step is to focus on repeating the habit, not on doing it perfectly. Some days you may naturally do a little more, and some days a little less. That is completely okay. The real goal is to keep the habit alive in some small form, rather than trying to do it perfectly and then quitting entirely after one difficult day. The fourth step is to track your progress in a simple, gentle way. This does not need to be complicated or stressful. You can simply notice quietly in your mind, "I completed my habit today," or keep a very simple note or small mark somewhere. Seeing your own consistency, even in a small way, naturally encourages you to continue. The fifth step is to be patient and genuinely kind to yourself. Small habits create real change slowly, quietly, and steadily. There is no need to rush, compare, or feel frustrated. Trust that these small, consistent actions are quietly building something strong inside you, even on days when you cannot clearly see any visible results yet. Let us make this idea very clear by looking at some simple, relatable examples from everyday life. Think about health. A person who decides to walk for just 10 minutes every evening instead of forcing a full 1-hour workout often continues this small habit for a much longer time. Over many months, this simple, gentle walking habit can steadily improve energy levels, mood, and overall health, without ever feeling like a heavy or stressful task. Think about reading. A person who reads only 2 pages every night before sleeping may finish several complete books across 1 year, almost without noticing the small daily effort. Compare this to someone who tries to read intensely only on weekends, but often feels too tired and simply skips it most weeks. Think about money and savings. Someone who saves a small, fixed amount every single month, even a very small one, is slowly building a strong and lasting habit of saving. Across several years, this consistent small habit can create meaningful financial stability, often more than occasional but irregular, large savings. Now think about English learning specifically. A learner who listens to just one short podcast episode every day, exactly like this one, and speaks a few sentences out loud afterward, is quietly building a very strong daily habit. Over many weeks and months, this learner's listening skill, vocabulary, and speaking confidence grow naturally and steadily, simply because the small habit continued, day after day, without stopping. Now let us focus on something very special for you as an English learner. Small habits are especially powerful when it comes to learning a new language like English. The first important idea is consistency over intensity. Many learners believe that studying for many hours occasionally is better than studying for a few minutes every day. But for language learning, gentle daily contact with the language, even for a short time, is usually more effective than occasional long sessions, because your brain needs regular, repeated exposure to truly absorb a new language. Another helpful idea is combining listening and speaking in your small daily habit. For example, after listening to a short podcast episode like this one, you can pause and repeat a few sentences out loud. This simple combination strengthens both your listening comprehension and your speaking confidence at the same time, using just a few extra minutes. Choosing a specific, realistic time is also very important. Instead of saying vaguely, "I will practice English sometime today," choose a specific moment, such as right after breakfast or right before sleeping. This specific timing removes confusion and makes your small habit much easier to remember and repeat. It is also very helpful to celebrate small progress along the way. When you notice that you understood a sentence more easily than before, or spoke more smoothly than last week, take a moment to appreciate this small progress. This gentle celebration builds positive emotional connection with your learning habit, making it more enjoyable and easier to continue long-term. Finally, remember that mistakes and slow days are a completely normal part of this journey. Some days you may feel confused, tired, or less motivated. This does not mean you are failing. It simply means you are human. What matters most is gently returning to your small habit again the next day, without harsh self-judgment. Before we move to reflection, let us talk about something very real and very human: missing a day of your habit. This happens to almost everyone, no matter how disciplined they are, so let us understand how to handle it calmly. The first important idea is this: missing one day does not destroy your progress. A single missed day is simply a small pause, not a failure. The real damage only happens when one missed day quietly turns into a missed week, and then a missed month, because you felt too discouraged to return. When you miss a day, try to avoid harsh self-criticism. Saying things like, "I always fail," or "I have no discipline," only makes it harder to return to the habit. Instead, try a gentler thought, such as, "I missed yesterday, but I can simply continue today." This small shift in thinking makes returning to the habit feel easy and natural, rather than shameful. A helpful rule that many people use is this: try never to miss 2 days in a row. Missing one day is normal and human. But if you notice you are about to miss a second day as well, treat that as a gentle signal to return immediately, even with a very small version of your habit, just to keep the pattern alive. It also helps to reduce the size of your habit temporarily during difficult periods. For example, if you are extremely busy, sick, or emotionally tired for a few days, you do not need to stop your habit completely. You can simply make it smaller for a short time. Instead of 10 minutes of English listening, you might do just 2 minutes. This keeps the habit alive, even in its smallest form, until you feel ready to return to your normal routine. Finally, remember that consistency across months and years matters far more than perfection across single days. A habit that continues for 90% of days, with a few gentle pauses here and there, is still an extremely powerful and successful habit. Perfection is not the real goal. Gentle, long-term consistency is. Let us end this section with a small, simple story that captures today's whole idea gently. Imagine a person who wanted to improve their English for a very long time, but always felt too busy, too tired, or too unmotivated to start seriously. One day, instead of planning a big, difficult study schedule, this person decided to try something very small. They decided to listen to just one short English podcast episode every morning for only 10 minutes right after waking up. At first, this felt almost too small to matter. There was no dramatic change after the first day, or even after the first week. But this person continued anyway, because 10 minutes felt easy, even on busy or tired mornings. Weeks turned into months, and slowly, without any dramatic effort, this person noticed they understood spoken English more easily, remembered new words more naturally, and felt more comfortable speaking simple sentences aloud. Looking back after 1 full year, this person realized something important. They had listened to hundreds of short episodes, practiced speaking many small sentences, and quietly built real, lasting confidence, all through one tiny 10-minute habit repeated almost every single day. No single day felt special or difficult, but together, all these small days created a genuinely meaningful change. This simple story shows exactly what we have been discussing today. Small, steady habits, repeated patiently over time, quietly create real, lasting transformation, often much more reliably than big, dramatic efforts that are difficult to sustain. Now let us take a calm moment to reflect. This is your time to think and practice speaking. Reflection is very important because it helps you understand yourself better, and it also helps your mind remember the ideas we discussed today. During this part, I will ask you a few simple questions. You can answer them quietly in your mind, or speak them out loud. Speaking out loud is even better because it helps you practice English naturally while reflecting on your own life. The first question is, what is one small habit I would genuinely like to build in my life right now? Take a moment to think about this calmly. You might say, I would like to build the habit of practicing English speaking every morning. Or, I would like to build the habit of reading one page every night before sleeping. The second question is, what existing daily action can I connect this new habit to? For example, you might say, I will practice English right after I brush my teeth in the morning. Or, I will read a little English right after I finish my dinner. The third question is, how small can I make this habit so that it feels genuinely easy to continue even on a busy or tired day? You might say, I can make it just 3 minutes long, or I can make it just one single sentence spoken out loud. The fourth question is, how will I feel about myself if I continue this small habit consistently for 1 full month? Pause and reflect calmly. You might say, I will feel more confident and proud of myself, or I will feel calmer because I trusted myself and kept my small promise. The fifth question is, what is one moment in the past when a small, consistent effort helped me achieve something meaningful? This question invites you to look back gently at your own life. You might remember a time you practiced a skill a little every day, or slowly built a habit that later became valuable. You could say, I remember practicing this small habit before, and it truly helped me. Or, I have not tried this yet, but I believe small steps can work for me too. Speaking your answers out loud helps you practice sentence structure, vocabulary, and pronunciation, while also reflecting meaningfully on your own personal growth. This is a simple but genuinely powerful exercise, and you can repeat it anytime you like, even after this episode ends. You do not need to answer perfectly or completely. Simply speaking a few honest sentences in English, connected to your real life, is already valuable practice for both your language skills and your self-awareness. If it feels helpful, you can also pause the podcast here for a minute or two, breathe slowly, and truly sit with these questions before continuing. There is no rush. This quiet reflection time is just as valuable as any other part of today's episode, so allow yourself to enjoy it fully, without hurrying toward the end. Now let us take a calm moment to end today's 100th episode with a gentle and encouraging message. Building small habits is a skill, and just like any skill, it grows slowly with patient, consistent practice. You do not need to be perfect from the very beginning. Every small step you take today quietly brings you closer to a stronger, clearer, and more confident version of yourself. To summarize softly, small habits work because they are easy to start, easy to repeat, and easy to continue, even during busy or difficult times. They slowly build momentum, self-trust, and steady, reliable progress without creating stress or unrealistic pressure. Over time, these small, quiet actions can create genuinely big changes across many important areas of your life, including your English learning journey. Remember, you do not need to change everything about your life today. A single small choice, like listening to one short podcast episode, reading one page, or speaking just one sentence out loud, is already a meaningful step toward building a stronger habit and a more confident mind. Thank you so much for listening to Fluent Flow English today, and congratulations on reaching this special 100th episode, together with me. Your time, your attention, and your consistent effort are truly valuable. And by listening regularly, you are quietly building both your English skills and your life skills at the very same time. I encourage you to take one small action today. Choose one tiny, simple habit and begin it right now, even in a very small way. Celebrate this small beginning gently. This is exactly how strong, lasting habits are built, one small, honest step at a time. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep trusting yourself and your own steady pace. Your consistency matters more than perfection, and your small, quiet efforts today are genuinely building a stronger, clearer, and more confident you, one small habit at a time.